series of little drills, motion drills that you can work on to help improve and maintain your golf swing. These aren't really directed at ball flight, distance, and accuracy. These are more of getting your body to work in sequence to get the right things happening during your swing. So let's jump to it, and here's a couple of them. The first one that I like to work on is left hand and right hand only. Strengthens up the arms a little, but again, gives you more awareness where the club is so you don't over-accelerate the wrong parts of your swing. So, by setting up your grip so that it's on the club in the right place, maybe halfway down the grip, set up to the golf ball in your normal stance, and make a golf swing with just your left arm. Make it your goal to hit it a little farther and a little straighter every time, with a bit of a divot and better contact. Not a bad challenge for you when you're on the range. Same thing with the right hand. Set up with the right hand on the club, standard ball position, and swing it back and hit the shot. No over acceleration needed there. The club works nice in sequence. I mean, right now in your first setup, your goal isn't really to hit the ball far and straight, it's to make pretty good contact. So for those of you out there trying this for the first time, I recommend teeing it up a little bit. Next drill that I like to do is get a feeling of where my golf swing is and stop in certain positions so I can feel where I'm supposed to be and then hit the shot. So one of them is to make 3/4 golf swings on either side, just feeling that the club is working in a short motion first. So I grip up a bit on the golf club, maybe halfway down the grip, hands are in the middle, I set up with my normal ball position, and I swing the club 3/4 of the way back and 3/4 of the way through. These don't have to be big swings. I'm swinging an 8-iron, might be going 130 yards, bit of a lower trajectory, but just to get the feeling of resisting a little bit with the lower body, making a pretty good pivot. It's not going to be a full pivot, but a 3/4 pivot, and swinging all the way through. My thought for this is that I'm trying to get my left arm parallel to the ground on one side, shaft nice and balanced, on the way to the other side, same position. My arm and the shaft are going to be the same on either side. Another one that I like to do to get a feeling of impact, to really understand what it is that I'm supposed to feel at that moment of truth when the club hits the ball, is I set up to my normal shot, and I pull my right foot back a little bit. Now, because my back foot is about a shoe length back, I'm feeling a little more weight and pressure on my front foot. So from here, I make a 3/4 swing with a little more weight here, feeling what it's going to be like when I get into impact. Another drill that you can do, again more of a maintenance drill, so to say, is to swing the club up to the top of your swing, back down to the ball, and stop just at the golf ball. It gives you a little more control of the club face. So I'm not going to make a full swing. I'm going to swing it up to the top, feel like I'm hitting somewhat of a punch shot, and stop the club just after the golf ball. I get a really good sensation of controlling this golf club, so I'm not throwing it and having the golf club control me. Another drill that I like to do to get a feeling of my body working in sequence and working in tandem together is to grip the club with split hands. So I take my normal grip, I take my bottom hand and put it somewhere down the shaft, I set up to my shot, and I make very small swings, really feeling that both hands are working together. Even though they're not together, it's the sensation that they are. I get a little bit more club awareness on this side, and I can come through my shot nice and easy, having more awareness of the club head and the golf club itself. Another one I like to do is to get a feeling of moving into the shot a little bit. So call this one a step into drill, where I set up in my normal position, grip my club my normal way, set up into a good athletic stance, and from here I bring my right foot back to my left. So I'm standing with my feet together behind the golf ball. I'll make a normal backstroke, step into it, and hit. I really feel as though with this drill that when I step into the shot, that everything's working in sequence together toward the target. There's no holding back. Both feet together, club off the ground a little bit, swing to the top, step down, and hit. These aren't meant to be full swings, just a feeling of things working together. Going a little bit further with that one is a step through drill. Same thing, set up to the shot in your normal position, hit the shot, and as you're making contact, walk through a little bit. Another good drill I like to do is to feel a little bit like I'm getting a good loading and setting of the golf club. I mean, when we get to the club right about here with the arm parallel to the ground, I'd like to see that the club has been fully set by the wrist. It's fully moved upwards. So, for those players that have heard the low and slow, keep it low to the ground, bring it to the inside, take it away, and hinge it really, really late, there's a good chance those people are throwing it away really, really early. Setting up to the golf ball in your normal address position, and hinging the golf club so the club's parallel to the ground, a little bit of bend here at the wrist, almost a full bend, hands somewhat over your foot and toes somewhat pointed to the sky. So the face of the club matches your forearm so it's still square, and from here you're going to hit your shot. Sets it a little bit early and gives you a feeling of setting that club and loading your power early in your golf swing. So 1, up, and hit. Pretty simple, good way to feel what you're trying to improve in your mechanics. A couple other good drills. I like to use a wood for these. One's going to create a little bit of resistance, one's going to give you a bit of a little more feel to your sequence in your swing. So I'm going to tee this one up because I'm hitting my driver. You can use a 3-wood as well. What I like to do is grip up on the club a little bit, widen my stance, and sit down a little bit, somewhat of a squatty position. So from here, I'm going to have a feeling of keeping my belt buckle pointed at the ball, 3/4 of the way back, 3/4 of the way through. My swing's going to be restricted because of the resistance I'm creating. I want to be the upper above the lower. So, set up to this shot, belt buckle stays at the ball, back, through. Now I know this moved forward, however that's not my intention. I'm trying to keep it still. If I didn't want to keep it still, it would have moved a lot more forward. The next one I like to do gives a little bit more club awareness, works on balance, works on sequence and your tempo. So, addressing the ball in a normal driver position, ball off the left ear. What I want to do is feel as though that when I swing this club up to the top and I stop, I'm in a really good balanced position. I've got some awareness of my pivot, I got some resistance in my right leg, I've got the club nice and high, it feels solid, it feels balanced, and from there I'm going to hit the shot. So it's up to the top, stop, and hit. Set up to my shot, swing it up to the top, stop, feel a good position,